Damian Bartoni here on behalf of Fox West Texas and the official host of MMA Monday, the only MMA show in San Angelo. Today, I am joined by one of my favorite fighters, someone that I absolutely love to watch in the clinch, Desiree Yanez. Desiree, how are you doing today?
I'm so good. Thank you so much for having me. I am so honored to be a part of this show.
Yeah, it's really really dope. But I'm not gonna lie, I know I've looked into your background. You're a champion in peak fighting. You know, you've done a lot of great things. But I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about before all this, before you're winning titles and you're in the PFL. Tell me a little bit about your upbringing and a little bit about whenever you decided to become a fighter.
So I didn't even pick up fighting until like after high school, after late 20s even. But I was a softball player like my whole life. My dad was my coach, and I did basketball and track, and there was definitely a bunch of sports in the mix, but softball was my main sport, and I did it since I was like 4 years old. And yeah, I kind of think that softball plays a lot into MMA in certain ways, like hand-eye coordination and things like that. So I'm very excited for my like natural athleticism that I have thanks to softball. But yeah, I've always been kind of like a little street fighter. I definitely got in a lot of fights in my games, especially basketball games, things like that I'm not necessarily proud of. But yeah, so I was never one to like back away from standing up for myself or standing up for other people. I think like the last street fight I got in was because some guy was getting jumped and me and my girlfriends like helped him, and I broke my hand and stuff. And then that was it. I was like, okay, I need to stay away from like the scenes and stuff like that. So yeah, whenever I got into MMA and I was letting all my friends and family know, they were like, yeah, we're not surprised. So everyone was not shocked at all when I started getting into MMA. So it's pretty funny.
It's funny you share the same last name as Adrian Yanez, who I've also spoken to on the show. I see that Alexa Grasso follows you as well. I love the rise of Mexican American fighters coming up, and this kinds of Grasso, Mexican fighters coming up and really making a name for themselves. For you in particular, do you feel like you have a chip on your shoulder, being you are a woman, you're 5'4", 125 pounds, but a lot of people will look at your size or look at you as a weakness, right? But obviously you're trailblazing that. What do you think about all of that?
Yeah, I think it's funny because I thought I was like, a little bit bigger than some girls. I was bigger in my 115 division and stuff like that. So I think being like the smaller 125er, I really don't look at it that way because I feel 100% better than cutting to 115. So I feel great. I feel amazing. I'm really honored to like be even thought about when people say Adrian Yanez or even Alexa Grasso. I think that's amazing to even be in that same category. That's like right there already, like goal checked. So that's amazing. But yeah, it's definitely not more pressure. If anything, it just kind of adds more fuel to my fire because I just want to make so many people proud. And honestly, it's just more about like my community, the community in general, like, hey, like anything is possible for us. Like we are meant to do great things, and let's just go out and show them what we're made of. Women,
Yeah,
especially, because people knock women so much, so it's like women, especially. I just want women to break out of their shell and just know that they're capable of anything.
Absolutely. And see, the thing for me too is one thing that I like about women's MMA in particular, especially whenever the women get finishes. I don't know, it's different in men because when men get finishes, you see a lot of like, first round KOs. And unless you're like Cyborg or Nunes, you don't see a lot of that in women's fighting, but it's a drag it out, it's a dog fight. Like the fight with just this past weekend, Alexa Grasso and Valentina Shevchenko, right? Mm-hmm. She literally suffocated all the blood from Valentina's face. Did you see that after the choke was yeah, you know what I mean? Like, amazing. Yeah, in a sense, you are still a trailblazer. In the UFC in particular, you have they started, with Rousey back in 2014, 2015, but in general, women's MMA is very new. How does that make you feel?
I mean, yeah, it's amazing. It's crazy to think about because I didn't even know MMA, like I didn't think about anything like that. I was so focused on other things at the time. So when I got into it, I was like, do women even do this? And so when I started like looking into it more, even when I started, it was still so like new for women to be doing it. And, people would always consider us like boring or whatever. And I'm just like, man, some women fights are probably the most exciting fight. Like sometimes I won't even watch cards if there's not a single woman fight on there. Cause I'm like, what? There's not a woman fight? Like, screw you guys. Like, boring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, cause we are dogs, man. Like I think there's just like a completely different competitiveness like level, like, you know what I mean, with guys versus girls. Like girls are so competitive against one another. I don't know what it is, but it is like, even like with training partners, like when we cross train, it's just like so competitive versus like dudes. And you know, not saying dudes aren't competitive, but it's just something else. And I feel like we have higher pain tolerance too. So we're just in there like wailing on each other, not even like, you know, thinking twice about it, taking hits too while doing those things. Like it's amazing. So yeah, it's kind of cool to be where I am in the division, because or in the sport in general for women, because I think it's still growing for us. So it's kind of awesome just to see like women growing into their, like, you know what I'm saying, MMA careers from such a young age, and like even wanting to start at a young age. Because a lot of us, me included, like we started later because we didn't know about it. You know what I mean? We didn't know women were even able to fight. So yeah, it's pretty cool just to see from the few years that I've been training and fighting how much it's already grown. So
especially for me, when I look at, you know, people like you and where you really fought everywhere, whether it's Bellator, now you're with PFL, you made that dream come true last month, right? You fought everywhere, you know, peak fighting and LFA, right? Like literally, yeah. Like you remind me of one of those like old school pro wrestlers that like went territory to territory, just winning championships everywhere.
Yeah, and I did, and it was. And sometimes, like, I used to kind of be embarrassed by that, to be honest, because I felt like, oh, people are just throwing me around here and there, here and there. But after a while, it's like, it's brought me so much experience because I've fought almost the best or the top in every promotion. So it's kind of cool just to see how much I've grown, you know, and who I fought. Like, yeah, my record isn't the best, but if you go look at the names that I fought, you can't ever say that I haven't fought some tough people. Like, you can't ever say my fights have been like, I've been thrown like easy opponents. You can't ever say that about me. You can say my record's bad, but go look at who I fought. That's like, you know what I mean? Because there's some people that, you know, get thrown easy fights and get to build their records. I never got to build my record.
Well, speaking again of Adrian Yanez, he said the same thing about his record. He was like, man, if I fought what people call cans, he's like, I'd probably be undefeated right now. He was like, if we're being honest, he's like, but that's not what MMA is about. If this is boxing, then oh yes, and I'm, you know, 70-0 right now. You know what I mean? And I wanted to ask you about another female fighter. She's a good friend of mine, Chris Cyborg. You fought on her card back in 2021. Did you have any interactions with her? Did you have any experiences shared with her?
No, not really, but I didn't get to like really talk to her. She was in the zone, for sure. You could tell she was in the zone. But she seemed really nice. I could just tell by like the way she was interacting with people, how nice she was. And she is huge. I mean, wow. Like, I was shocked. I knew she was big, but wow, I was not expecting how big. Like,
yeah, insane. she is like, she's probably one of the sweetest people I've ever met. Like,
so nice. She seems like it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And when I tell you, like, I met her. So I was interning at another news station before I got full time here. I just graduated in December, and
nice. Congrats.
I met her. Yeah, I appreciate it. And I met her, right, and I interviewed her on the spot. She ended up following me on Twitter, and like anytime like she sees like I'm posting something or I'm doing something like in journalism, she'll always like retweet it, like it, say something. And
that's so sweet.
Yeah, she's a wonderful person. And I was gonna make the comparison between y'all again, where you said, you know, oh, I kind of looked down, or I was kind of worried about, you know, how I fought everywhere, right? Well, Chris Cyborg, you're in good company because she's in the same boat and she's a champion everywhere. And I think for you, that's on the horizon as well. Let's talk a little bit about PFL now. You made that dream come true, and personally for me, I know I've mentioned a lot of UFC stuff because that's all I've interviewed thus far, but I love some PFL. I was telling my good friend, I think that's the second best organization out there, but if someone wants to say it's their favorite or the best, you know, I love the format. Yeah. For you, what was that decision like? Did you kind of have that I made it feeling when you signed?
Yep, 100%. I wanted to sign with PFL even like before they had the 125 division. I was just waiting for them because I knew it was coming, because the 125 women's division, I think, is like the like biggest. I don't know, for some reason that's what they start off with. That's what they started off with. Bellator, they don't even have a 115 division. So I knew for some reason it was going to be the first division for women besides the 40 or 55. And then they started making 45, and I was like, okay, 25 is going to be next. Like, I just know it. And it was. I saw them like promoting that Dakota Dachiva girl, and she had like 2 fights for PFL already. And I was like, yeah, it's coming. I already know. And I don't know why, there was just something about PFL that I knew I had a better chance with, not like competition wise, but like just showing me the respect and stuff. Cause like when it was with Bellator, I'm not really saying anything disrespectful, but it was like I kind of just got thrown in the wolves. Like my first fight was top 10. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like which is fine. Like it helped me grow, because I do go look back and be like, man, I hung with Vita, I hung with Vita. Like I hung with that like girl. Like we went 3 rounds and it was a close fight.
Yeah.
And she's over here destroying chicks. You know what I'm saying? So she's changed me as a fighter, because I look back on that all the time and I'm like, these girls aren't like that. And if I can hang with the best at that level, that in my mind and stuff, I wasn't even where I am now. You know what I mean? So I just feel it just helped me so much getting through all these divisions and stuff. And so I knew PFL was the one, just because I could tell that that was going to be who took care of me and wanted to help me. They're about their fighters, you know, they want to help people. It's not a popularity contest there. And you can tell. Because if it was, I would have lost to Caitlin Katniss or whatever. Because she has, you know, it's true. Like she's beautiful. Yep. I'm not dissing myself, but she's way more gorgeous than I could ever dream of. And like, you know, she's not like, I'm kind of got some fat on me. I got love handles. Like she is perfectly fit. She's got a great following on Instagram. If it was a popularity contest, they would have picked her, because she had a great performance. She won. It was a beautiful fight. It was a smart fight. You know, she had a cut, made herself look badass. Like, you know what I'm saying? She looked amazing. Yeah. So I'm like, if it was a popularity contest, she would have got that contract. She would have won. Yeah. So I just know they just always brought that like vibe that they take care of their fighters. They want fighters. They're not here for popularity. They want fighters. Of course the popularity helps, but you can just tell, you know? So I knew I had a better chance. You know, UFC I felt like was going to be a harder of a climb for me at where I was in my career and my record and stuff like that. So I knew PFL was going to be, and the vibes, man, were immaculate. I'm never like, this is where I plan to retire eventually. Like this is how.
It makes me so happy to hear too, because it seems like everyone that's been joining there has really had the same experience. They really genuinely enjoy everything about it. Even with, and I know you've probably been I know you've been, you know, I know someone's asked you, even with Jake Paul, you know, being on board, right?
I'm sure. Which is good for us.
Yes, it's great. It is so great for y'all.
It's great.
I think now I'm in Ariel Helwani's boat. I think he should be helping promote these events, because if there's one thing he can do, he can talk his tail off. And he gets in the ring. I'll give him that, you know.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? I think he's a great ambassador for the sport, and he loves the fighters. So hey.
And he's all about getting people paid. And that's what I'm like, dude. Hallelujah. And for me, I'm like, if I go and put on a show, what if I get to fight on the same card with him? Or what if he's just there watching and I get to go fight in front of him? Who knows what could come out of it for me if I go and do what I know how to do in front of someone like Jake Paul. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So endless possibilities. It's amazing. People can hate all they want, but he is genuinely wanting to like promote and help fighters, because he sees what the UFC does sometimes to their fighters. Again, not talking crap. I love the UFC because my teammate's on UFC and I know they're going to take care of her. But sometimes they do fighters dirty, just like any promotion. It happens everywhere, even I'm sure PFL, who knows. But it's just with Jake Paul, you can tell that he genuinely, he does a lot of this and does a lot of that, but he genuinely does take care. Even of his opponents, he pays his opponents fat money. You know what I'm saying? He's all about the money, and that's. I mean, at the end of the day, people can say, "Oh, I just do this because I love this." Yeah, duh, but we do it because we're trying to get that check money at the end of the day. Like, let's go. We wouldn't do this because we love it for free. Get out of here with that.
I just got one more for you. I see on your record too, you know, you have decision losses. You had 3 losses in a row, all by split majority decision. And making another comparison here. I'm sorry if you're getting tired of it, but one guy that changed his career after decision losses. I'm sure you know, Jorge Masvidal, right? He had 3 decision losses and then came back 3 straight wins, dominant wins. You are in the same boat, unanimous decision. You know, finish for the peak title. Do you feel like now you're starting to kind of really hit your stride and find your prime as a fighter?
Absolutely. And you know, I have like the haters that message me like, "Oh, you're getting old, you need to retire." And I'm like, I'm in my prime, babe. Like, this is the best I've ever felt, because even when I fought Vita a couple years ago, whatever, mentally it's not who I am today. Like, I just show up every day just confident, knowing that I can and will be the PFL champ as long as I keep showing up and keep putting in the same effort I put in, like I did fight night. Like show up, get better, be the nail every day, because I am the nail, and that's okay with me because that makes the fight that much easier. I'm gonna go be the hammer. I'll be the nail in practice, go be the hammer in the fight, you know? So yeah, it's just crazy. Like everything just fell into place, and I'm just so excited. So yeah, like those 3 losses were a drag because I felt like I won for sure. I won one of them, but I know I won one of them. I go look back at it all the time, but it's fine. Still a little bitter. But no, and you know, it's life lessons. Like those taught me, and those made me the fighter I am today. And I won't be that fighter ever again. You know, I just want to grow from that. And I think I have tremendously. So I'm excited just to see now where I go with that.
And I have nothing else for you. Feel free to let the fans know what you have going on. And I also look forward to talking to you again once you have another fight coming up. But yeah, let the fans know.
No, thank you. You know, hopefully I get some news for everybody soon. I have no idea when the tournament's starting or anything like that. But hopefully, even if the tournament doesn't start this year, and I can at least hopefully get on like off season or something and just get some fight ins with PFL. You know, yeah, but you'll be seeing a lot of me. I'm excited. I want to put on shows for everybody. I hope you see a lot of violence from me, and no matter what, win or lose, it's always going to be a fight, always.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you very, very much. The first PFL fight I've ever interviewed, the first woman during Women's History Month that I've interviewed. This is awesome. The vibes are immaculate. Like you said, the vibes are immaculate. But I'm Damien Bartonik. This is Desiree Yanez. Y'all take it easy. Peace.